Hey guys, Saturday sit down. What I thought I'd do is, instead of reading the text messages from the last week, I thought I would just cover a contract real quick. So obviously, to get into zip forms, we need to go to texasrealestate.com. In the right corner, you're going to hit login. You're going to have a preset email and a password. You're going to hit login. It'll take you right back to the same screen. It'll say, hi Doug, hi Dave, hi Dawn. She'll click, or he will click on zip forms to the right. And no matter how you get to zip forms, the screen turns blue. When the screen turns blue, you're going to hit the new tab. After you hit the new tab, you're going to have 5 boxes that pull up. You're only concerned with the first 3. It's either a seller, a buyer, or a lease. You're going to pick buyer. If you're writing up an offer, you're going to name it and always select the dot next to residential. And then there'll be a drop down that says select template, and you'll pick buyer template. You'll hit save. The next screen, you're looking at a white summary square. You'll go 2 tabs over to documents, and you got everything pre-filled. When we open up the 1 to 4 family, let's just cover a few paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is going to be the buyer and the seller. You'll get the seller off the tax roll. You'll get the buyer off the pre-approval. If the buyer's doing a proof of funds, cash transaction, then you'll get a proof of funds, and you'll write their name that's based on the proof of funds letter. Paragraph 2 is the legal description. You're going to have the tax roll. It might have a lot and block, it might not, but it's going to have a subdivision. If it doesn't have either 3, then put the city, state, zip, and the address. But that's your legal description. That's paragraph 2A. 2B and C are improvements and accessories. That's everything that stays in a house. Paragraph 2D delta would be you excluding something in paragraph 2B or 2C. And all you would do would be write it in paragraph 2D. So in paragraph 2B and C, you'll see chandelier. If the seller wanted to keep it, you would put in paragraph 2D delta, chandelier and dining room. That would exclude it. Paragraph 2E says that mineral rights convey all of them to the buyer, unless otherwise reserved in a mineral right reservation. That's paragraph 2E. Paragraph 3, and again, I've had some contracts I've looked at. You just got to slow down and read the contract. Paragraph 3A is the down payment. 3B boy is the loan amount. 3C is the offer. Whenever the final sales price is, 3A plus 3B will always equal 3C. I already pre-filled third-party financing in paragraph 3B boy. If it's a cash transaction, then uncheck mark that. If you're getting a loan, then leave it alone. I already have it marked. When you go to paragraph 4, generally you don't do it, but paragraph 4 is if there's a long-term tenant in the property and or there's a fixture that's leased, like solar panels. Paragraph 5 is the title company. You've got to read this paragraph and pay attention. The first blank is the title company, not a human being. The title company. That's the first blank in paragraph 5. The second blank is their address. The third blank is a $sign. It's the first $sign in the paragraph, but it's the third blank. That's for earnest money. The second $sign, which is the fourth blank, I've already pre-filled with $100. That's the option. You'll go down 2 paragraphs. It'll say termination, 5B boy. I've already got 10 days in there. That's the days you're buying. You can change that. It's negotiable. You're going to go down to paragraph 6. That's the title policy. I've pre-filled the seller pays that. It's negotiable. You're going to put the same title company in paragraph 6 that you have in the first blank in paragraph 5. Say Chicago title will be in both. Hexter Fair, Truly title, they'll be in both. In 6, you'll also see 6D delta. That's for objections. I put residential uses. That's if you want to use the home for residential purposes. If it's going to be an Airbnb, then put Airbnb there, because that's something that if it's prohibited, then your buyer can back out. And I put 3 days after that for your buyer to be able to back out and get the earnest money back. Paragraph 6E2 is that there's an HOA. I've got it pre-marked there is, because most homes have one. You go down to paragraph 7. 7A is that your buyer has the right to get a home inspection by a TREC licensed inspector, reasonable hours. 7B boy is the seller's disclosure. I have it marked that you have it. So if you don't, mark the second box that you don't. Put about 3 days in the blank, and that gives the seller 3 days to get your buyer the seller's disclosure, upon which receiving, the buyer has 7 days to terminate, the day they receive it being day 0. 7C is if you don't need one. That would be like an estate, a foreclosure, something like that. 7D delta is as is. I have it marked that way. If you want some specific repairs done, then unmark that and mark 7D, the second box. And then you'll say seller to replace the 4 windows with broken seals. Once you go down to paragraph 8, I like to say CPS, that's child, parent, spouse. If you have a relationship with a child, parent, spouse, you put it there. If you yourself are buying or selling, you put it there. Or if you have a 10% share in an entity buying or selling, you put that you just have the relationship. Buyer's related to buyer's agent. Seller is related to seller agent. Seller is seller agent. Buyer is buyer agent. About that simple. Paragraph 9 is a closing date. You're going to click on it. You're going to pick a closing date that the buyer, the seller, and the lender and the title are okay with. Closings on cash transactions are usually inside of 10 days. A loan usually takes 30 to 45 days, but it's a blank, it's negotiable. Paragraph 10 is possession. I've got it marked that it's at closing and funding. So if you're doing a temporary lease, then uncheck mark and check the second box. Paragraph 11, I don't really like you to put anything in there. You only put a business detail or fact that's otherwise not in a promulgated form in that paragraph. Paragraph 12, usually you're going to leave blank. That's where you would ask the seller to pay closing costs for your buyer. You would get that amount from the lender. Don't guess it. That's paragraph 12. Then you go all the way down to paragraph 21. I already have your email. I've put it in there. You'll put the buyer's email and their phone number. And then just make sure paragraph 22, you've checkmarked the addendums that you need. If you don't see the addendum pre-filled, then mark other at the right side at the bottom, this right column at the bottom, mark it and just put non-realty addendum, intermediary, whatever the addendum is that's not already pre-typed in that paragraph. Make sure it matches up. So if you have third party, you're going to have third party in paragraph 3B boy. If you have an HOA in 6E2, then you'll have HOA marked. If you don't have an HOA, then unmark it in paragraph 22 and also in paragraph 6E2. That's 7-minute cap. That's my Saturday sit down. I'm logging out at 7 minutes. Y'all have a good one and go get some.